Hello again. Morning. Okay, so I am back in touch. This is Amma Manson. And the title of this particular one is How to Survive Living in a Changed World. It's a question a viewer asked me, and I'm attempting to answer the question. I've actually shown a few examples from my line of work, but I'm going to try and generalize this as much as I can. Look, March 2020 is a completely different experience even from January 2020. The only people who've not noticed are the people who either don't listen to the news or the people who prefer to pretend that it's not happening. In the world right now, we do have a medical emergency. Where I currently am, in my location, in my line of work, we've actually been sent home for 4 weeks in response to this emergency. I am a teacher. So I'm used to being in front of the kids, seeing their books, ticking their books off, collecting things, explaining things. But I'm going to have to modify my practice in the next 2 weeks, especially. I am going to have to deliver an online curriculum. So I'm having to look for new ways of making sure the kids see me, the kids hear me, the kids get my explanation, the kids write, they produce, I can see, I can mark, I can feedback, and I can report. This is the reality for me in the changed world. And one of the reasons why I am very comfortable, I am very excited with these changes is because I am an EdTech specialist. I am somebody who specializes in technology for teaching. And so for people like me, this is our opportunity to shine. For other people, for other teachers just like me, this is a very, very apprehensive period because these people have not prepared themselves. For these people, this new change is difficult to respond to because they've not developed the skills and expertise to do so. Be whoever you are, working wherever you are, the current reality is that if things go the way people are predicting, many of us will end up in quarantine at home. It's already in Italy. Many people, regardless of what work you do in Italy, it's going to be the next thing, would be an economic shutdown. Some people are going to be quarantined, but they will still be working and earning an income. Some people will be quarantined and they will go straight into bankruptcy. Some people will go into quarantine and they will struggle to eat because they have not money to learn 21st century skills. In the 21st century, life is actually lived virtually. In the 21st century, people who are smart have found ways of doing very traditional things non-traditionally using electronic media. I am teaching using electronic media. It's actually possible for you to be a nurse using electronic media. No, the patients don't have to present themselves to you. You can be your nurse in a chat room and you could be listening to patients' assessments and evaluations of their own symptoms, and you could be providing nursing services, guidance services, diagnostic services. And if you are one of those people in the allied health professions and you manage to perfect this, you might actually end up making a lot of money in this episode because people need medical advice, but people cannot present in front of medical practitioners because of this medical emergency. Those of you who are able to find ways of bringing your professions via the electronic media, if you find ways of adapting your practice so that you can work remotely, if you can adapt your practice so people can engage with you, pay for your services without direct contact, then you have found a way of making this new changed world work for you. It really doesn't matter whether you do marketing or not. I've already said to people, if you stock physicals, one of the best things to do is to make sure that in preparation for this new quarantine, you actually manage to get stock in different countries. If you manage to find stock in different places, you might still be able to distribute, even with quarantines in place. Circulation within small areas will still be possible. Travel over large distances might not be. So you might still even continue to do your business the way you traditionally do it if you've taken some simple actions. Some of you would have a complete standstill of business because you don't look at this strategy. That's why I am having this particular video, titling it, Living in a Changed World. In this changed world, the greatest relationships are virtual. In this changed world, people want things instantly at a click of a button. In this changed world, nobody is about to open a newspaper to read anything. People want to have auditory inputs from books. People want to soak up knowledge without sitting to read. People want to access information on the go. Have you learned this thing about our new changed world? Are you clear of consumer trends in this new changed world? Can you use artificial intelligence to predict what is likely to come next so you can put yourself one step ahead in this game? So I am a teacher who's been learning about educational technology for 5 years. For the last 5 years, what I'm doing has made no sense to anybody. People have never understood why I'm even bothering. Most people are ignoring the tech and don't see why I wanted to. But you see, suddenly this medical emergency comes and everybody is seeking me out. Everybody wants to have my expertise available. This is my cash out of what I have been doing for the last 5 years. Being a step ahead of a game is a gift. It is one of the important attributes of survival. Keeping yourself 2 steps ahead gives you a better advantage. So I'm asking you, in light of what's happened in Italy and in my current location when people are already in quarantine, when we are expecting greater quarantines, maybe even isolations to come, do you understand what it means to be 2 steps ahead of recent developments? Will you continue to earn an income? Can you sustain yourself, even if you were asked to come stay home for 4 weeks, as has happened in my case? Would you be relevant? Are you still employable from a distance? Are you able to do an output and get paid whilst you're doing it? And even if your main job is not able to deliver that, do you have a plan B? Do you have other ways of sustenance that could be done remotely? If you happen to be one of those people who answered affirmative to these ones, you are lucky. You are very rare, in fact. If you happen not to be one of the lucky rare few, then this is your opportunity to sit down, think, and strategize. What are your skills? What can you teach? What can you explain? What can you bring to the table virtually? How do you modify your knowledge, your practice, so it is consumable remotely? Who do you need to align yourself with so that your abilities and your gifts are noticed? How do you put yourself out there so people know what you are capable of? When you find answers to these questions, you are well on your way, writing your name in the book of the very lucky few who can survive. I am very lucky that I've managed to find ways of adapting my professional expertise, bringing it remotely, making it very relevant in the 21st century, but particularly relevant for the period in which we are in 2020. How can you modify your own practice? How can you change your own existence? What new skills do you need to acquire in the next few weeks before this process rolls out where you are? Because it is coming in most places. We don't know for how long, but I suspect that with the announcement, the flights from Europe to America have been halted. It is quite serious, and we all need to prepare. How prepared are you? Will you be sent home with an income because you can output? Or will you be sent home because we are in shutdown and you have nothing to sustain you? What can you learn right now that could change your position in the next week or 2? What skills do you have that could be modified somewhat to make them remote ready? Who should you connect with? What advertisements do you need to put in place so that people know that you are remote ready? What do you need to say to your boss so they know that you are remote ready and you could actually be an asset to the organization as they seek to modify practice to survive? In this game of survival, change is constant, and only those who are able to respond to change, adapt to change successfully, are the victors, the survivors. It's called survival of the fittest. Yes, Darwin became famous for this over 100 years ago. But some of us simply have not heard this. Some of us simply have not learned from this. You need to adapt. Yes, you, right now. You need to be able to answer some of the questions I'm asking on this video if you are going to make it successfully, financially, this year. If your business will make it, if your business does not collapse, if you don't go bankrupt, it will depend on this. Don't take this lightly. Take this very seriously, because this is a real emergency of our times, and we all need to have our responses ready if we intend to survive. It's Amma Manson. As usual, asking difficult questions, but as usual, asking you to be proactive so that you are not caught pants down by an experience which is likely to alter the world and the way we do things forever. I hope this has been useful. I don't have answers, but I'm asking questions to which you need to seek answers in order to change your own life. Follow my pages, watch out for subsequent questions, personal development goals, and stuff like that from my Transformations Inc. project, and also from my YouTube channel. You can also follow Amma Manson, where you would receive most of these videos. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing, and please keep sharing until everybody in our community has asked themselves this question and has found suitable answers in readiness of this process. See you soon.